My grandfather whispered, "I'll see you soon," and died. My son just said the same to me. My 4-year-old son just looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'll see you soon, kiddo," in a voice that wasn't his. Same raspy tone my grandfather used. Same nickname nobody else knew. Ethan's been speaking normally his whole life until 3 days ago, when he woke up different. Now he talks like an old man, walks with a limp my grandfather had from Korea, and yesterday I caught him trying to light a pipe he found in my garage. My grandfather died 6 months ago, whispering those exact words to me in his hospital room. I'm sitting in Ethan's bedroom right now, watching him sleep, while my wife Rachel thinks I'm losing my mind downstairs. She heard what he said to me an hour ago and called her mother asking if there's a history of mental illness in my family. But here's what she doesn't know. This morning I found Ethan standing in our closet, holding my grandfather's Purple Heart. We'd packed that metal away in a box on the top shelf after the funeral. There's no way a 4-year-old could have reached it. When I asked what he was doing, he looked at me with these tired old eyes and said he needed to make sure it was still safe. Said the Nazis might come looking for it. My grandfather fought in Korea, not World War II. Ethan shouldn't know anything about Nazis. The weird stuff started exactly 1 week after my grandfather's funeral. Ethan woke up screaming about someone named Jimmy Castellano. Not a nightmare scream, but angry yelling like he was in the middle of an argument. Rachel ran into his room and found him standing on his bed, pointing at nothing, shouting that Jimmy still owed him $50 from 1952. I'd never mentioned Jimmy to Ethan. Hell, I barely remembered Jimmy myself until that moment. He'd been my grandfather's best friend who died in a car accident 70 years ago. My grandfather used to joke about that $50 debt at family dinners, said Jimmy. Better have the money waiting in heaven. How did Ethan know that name? How did he know about the money? Rachel said he must have overheard adults talking at the funeral, but Ethan wasn't at the funeral. We'd left him with Rachel's parents because we thought 4 was too young to understand death. The next morning, Ethan asked for black coffee. Not chocolate milk, not juice. Coffee. He said it with this annoyed tone like we should have known already. Rachel laughed and poured him apple juice instead. Ethan took one sip, made a face, and said, "This isn't coffee, this is kid garbage." Those exact words. Kid garbage. That's what my grandfather always called anything sweet. I started keeping notes on my phone. Every strange thing Ethan said or did. Wednesday, he complained that his knee hurt, pointing to the exact spot where my grandfather had shrapnel embedded from the war. Thursday, he asked where his workshop was, getting frustrated when I didn't understand. My grandfather had a workshop in his basement for 50 years. Friday, Ethan drew a picture in preschool that made his teacher call us in for a meeting. She showed us the drawing with this concerned look on her face. It was a house, meticulously detailed, with a red door and a specific window configuration. She said Ethan had spent an hour on it, getting upset when other kids tried to play with him. He kept saying he needed to get it exactly right because this was his house and he missed it. The address he'd written at the top in shaky numbers, 247 Oakwood Drive, my grandfather's house, the house we'd just sold after he died. Ethan had been inside it maybe 3 times in his life, always briefly for holiday visits. He'd never been upstairs, never seen the layout, yet his drawing showed details only someone who'd lived there would know. The location of the back porch, the separate entrance to the basement, even the old dogwood tree in the front yard that we'd cut down 5 years ago. Rachel scheduled an appointment with a child psychologist. Dr. Miriam Ashworth listened to everything, took notes, and suggested that Ethan was processing the concept of death through play and imagination. Kids his age don't understand death as permanent, she explained. He might be creating elaborate stories to make sense of his grandfather being gone. But Ethan had never met my grandfather. My grandfather had been in a nursing home for 2 years before he died, deteriorating from Alzheimer's. We'd kept Ethan away, thinking the visits would be traumatic. So Ethan had no memories of him, no relationship to process. Dr. Ashworth paused when I told her this, asked me to bring Ethan in for evaluation. The appointment was scheduled for next week. That night, I found Ethan in the kitchen at 2 a.m., not getting water or looking for snacks. He was sitting at the table in the dark, completely still, staring at nothing. When I turned on the light, he didn't react, just kept staring straight ahead with this blank expression that made my skin crawl. I said his name 3 times before he finally blinked and looked at me. "Why are you up?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. "Thinking about the war," he said. "Had to leave so many behind." The way he said it, with this heavy sadness that didn't belong to a 4-year-old, made me want to grab him and shake him until my real son came back. Instead, I picked him up and carried him to bed. He was dead weight in my arms, not fighting or helping, just letting me move him like he was too tired to care. I tucked him in, and he grabbed my hand. His little fingers felt cold. "I missed you, kiddo," he said. "Missed you so much." That's when the truth finally hit me.